Hi, and welcome back to Transit Talk, where we explore the astrological energies of the week to help you navigate your journey with confidence and insight. I'm your host, Shaunice, and this week we are looking at the transits for September the 2nd through September the 8th, 2024. Our guiding tarot card this week is the Three of Cups, bringing us themes of friendship, pleasure, community, and growth. Grounding this energy is the Four of Cups, which encourages self reflection, meditation, and focus. We are entering eclipse season this week. So, if you found yourself struggling in August, reflect on what challenges you were facing during that time and how you can transform that energy into something more positive that aligns with your long term goals. Now, let's get into this week's transits. Starting on Monday, September 2nd, 2024, we start this week and month off with a new moon in Virgo, marking the beginning of a new lunar cycle and initiation of eclipse season. Virgo is a mutable sign that finds joy in being of service to others. And with this new moon, much of the eclipse season will focus on health, work, daily routines, and personal growth. Virgo is a very practical, detail oriented, and improvement focused sign, making this a great time to plan, organize, and initiate new habits or projects. Early Monday morning, Mercury in Leo trined with formed a trine with Chiron in Aries. This transit brings an opportunity for healing through communication and self expression. Mercury in Leo carries a bold, creative, and passionate energy, while Chiron in Aries highlights wounds related to identity, independence, and self assertion. When these two energies form a trine, it creates a flow that encourages us to speak our truth, confront past wounds, and empower ourselves and others through words and ideas. Monday morning is a great time to have healing conversations, think creatively, and come up with innovative solutions to personal challenges and express yourself authentically to boost your confidence and reclaim parts of your identity that were previously challenging to access. On the flip side to this transit, um, it might increase the risk of being overly confident or forceful in your communication, which could unintentionally hurt other people, or you can come across as arrogant. You might focus on surface level solutions rather than addressing deeper issues, leading to temporary relief rather than long term healing. There's a tendency to push others to open up or to overshare without considering their comfort levels or boundaries with this transit on Monday morning. Now, in the evening, on Monday evening, is the new moon in Virgo, which is a powerful time to set intentions related to health, work, daily routines, and personal growth. This is an excellent new moon to set realistic, achievable goals that improve your daily life and well being. Consider starting a new health regimen, decluttering your space, or refining your skills. Virgo's precision allows you to focus on finer details of your plans and projects. However, you might want to avoid the feeling of perfectionism, overthinking, and obsessiveness. Virgo energy has a shadow side to it. And if you find yourself becoming overly fixated on minor flaws or problems, this could lead to anxiety or frustration. Ground yourself by engaging in simple activities like cleaning up, reading, or finding ways to support your physical, mental, and emotional health, as Virgo is a sign that advocates for holistic healing. Now, later in the evening on Monday, when most of us are headed to bed or we're already sleeping, Mars and Gemini will form a square with Neptune retrograding in Pisces. This transit creates tension between action and illusion. Mars in Gemini is an assertive, communicative, and driven by the need to explore new ideas, while Neptune retrograding in Pisces represents dreams, intuition, and confusion. It's more internal because Neptune is now retrograde. When these energies meet in a square, it can lead to confusion about your goals. It can lead to miscommunication or feeling the feeling of being directionless. The positive way that this transit might manifest is offering a chance for you to refine your vision and take inspired action once you cut through the mental fog. You might feel motivated to explore some spiritual practices or religious practices like prayer. You could find yourself going after creative projects that align with your higher self. This transit encourages you to be adaptable, and it gives you the ability to shift your focus into something that isn't working as planned. So you can like refine whatever isn't working out with this energy and really adapt to what is working. So pay attention to if you're feeling confused or if you have some mental fog on Monday, get to the bottom of that feeling so that you can realign your goals to something more purposeful for you. You might experience some confusion with this or some miscommunication, or you might just not really feel up for paying attention to the details, or you might just want to escape reality. So try to meditate or pray before going to bed to help you ease this energy on Monday night. Now let's get into Tuesday, September the 3rd. On Tuesday, we are still in the new moon phase. So if you didn't have a chance to set your intentions on Monday, you still have time on Tuesday. The moon will be in the new moon phase all day on Tuesday, and we will wake up with the moon in Virgo opposing Saturn retrograding in Pisces. Now, this transit represents some tension between our emotional needs and our responsibilities. The moon in Virgo seeks order, practicality, and efficiency, while Saturn in Pisces reflects the need to reassess your boundaries, structures, and long term goals rooted in your dreams or your spiritual aspirations. Now, the positive expression of this transit suggests a pull between the desire for your emotional security and the demands of reality, leading to feelings of frustration or restriction. So, use this transit to help develop emotional resilience by facing responsibilities head on and learning from challenges. You might find that this tense energy pushes you to create practical strategies for dealing with emotional and spiritual challenges that you might be going through. This aspect also encourages deep reflection on how your emotions and responsibilities align or conflict, leading to greater self awareness. So, with this energy, you might feel frustrated. You might wake up not really wanting to go to work, to be honest. You might wake up not really wanting to do anything. You might feel burdened by the responsibilities around you. So, use this time to really reflect on your emotions, how you're feeling, so you can realign and become self aware about what's going on around you. Now, the negative expressions of this energy can make you feel emotionally blocked, restricted, or burdened by your responsibilities, like I stated, leading to you feeling isolated or sad or depressed. The Virgo Pisces axis can trigger self criticism or a tendency to dwell on perceived shortcomings. So, this can be especially loud for you if you're trying to balance or if you're struggling to balance your emotional needs with your responsibilities. So, start Tuesday morning with grounding, meditation, or mindfulness. Practice to center yourself before starting any task or just starting your day. Organize your day, prioritize your task, and make realistic plans for managing your responsibilities, things that you have to do that you might not want to do. Also, take some time to reflect on your emotional state and consider where you might need to set some boundaries or release some unrealistic expectations. Now, on Tuesday afternoon, the moon in Virgo will form a square to Jupiter in Gemini, creating tension between the desires for expansion and the need for practicality. The moon in Virgo is detail oriented and focused on improvement, while Jupiter in Gemini encourages exploration, curiosity, and broadening our horizons. The square suggests a conflict between wanting to take more, which is Jupiter, and the need to stay grounded and be realistic, which is the moon in Gemini. I'm not the Gemini in Virgo. This can lead to restlessness or overcommitment. So try not to overcommit to things or make empty promises on Tuesday. This aspect can inspire you to think big and pursue growth, especially in areas related to learning, communication, and self improvement. You might find opportunities to expand your horizons through learning, travel, or new experiences, as long as you remain mindful about your limits. So be realistic on Tuesday because you might feel really, really good and you might end up overcommitting, overextending yourself, or becoming scattered in your thinking. Now let's get to Wednesday, September the 4th, 2024. On Wednesday morning, we are closing out the new moon's energy with a few aspects. The first being the moon in Virgo forming a trine to Uranus, which is retrograde now in Taurus. This transit introduces an element of excitement and unpredictability to the day. Unpredictability. I don't know if I said that word right to the day. So, this aspect encourages you to embrace new ideas and changes in your daily routine or approach to problems, especially those related to work, health, and finances. You might find new inventive ways to tackle old problems, especially those related to your work or daily routines. This transit can bring a sense of emotional freedom, helping you break away from restrictive habits, or thought patterns. You're likely to feel more open to changes on Wednesday, which can lead to improvements in your personal and professional life. Even though trines are typically positive, there's a chance you might feel restless or impatient if changes don't happen quick enough. Unexpected changes can even be positive ones. So, even though it might feel disruptive, this might be a breakthrough for you, especially if you are very attached to your routine or plans. There is also a risk of you pushing too hard for independence or change without considering realistic implications. So start your day by trying something new, whether it's a different route to work, a new exercise routine, or a new way to approach a task. Be open to changes on Wednesday. And those changes might improve your routine or your environment. So use this energy to experiment and see what works best for you. Engage in mindfulness or meditation to stay grounded while navigating this unexpected energy because Uranus creates new neural pathways, new ways of thinking. On Wednesday, you might run into some sudden surprises. You might run into something that throws your day completely off, but this is actually probably leading you to something greater. Next, the moon in Virgo will oppose Neptune retrograding in Pisces. This opposition creates tension between the moon's needs for order and clarity in Virgo and Neptune's dreamy, elusive energy in Pisces. This aspect can blur the lines between reality and fantasy, making it challenging to see things clearly or make decisions based on facts. You might feel more sensitive and inclined to escape reality or daydream. However, this aspect can also enhance intuition and creativity, allowing you to connect with deeper emotional or spiritual truths. You may find or feel more compassionate and understanding towards others, strengthening your emotional connections. So, if this energy is channeled properly, this energy can create some very creative energy, especially in the artistic or spiritual pursuits. On the downside of this transit, this opposition may lead to confusion, misunderstandings, or difficulty distinguishing reality from fantasy. There's a tendency to escape from responsibilities or uncomfortable emotions, possibly through unhealthy habits or avoidance. The unhealthy habits, we're talking about Pisces, so this could be like drugs, alcohol, sex. So be cautious of deception, whether it's self deception or you're being misled by others. The moon in Virgo will then square Mars in Gemini. This is also creating some conflicts around impatience or emotional outburst. So you might feel confused on Wednesday and it could lead to some sort of argument. But the positive aspect of the moon talking to Mars can give you a burst of energy and motivation to tackle tasks that require some mental agility or communication. You might find it easier to assert your needs or defend your position in situations where you might feel overlooked. However, there's a risk of becoming easily irritated if things don't go as planned. The square can lead to impulsive actions or words, which might create conflict or complications. You might experience some heightened emotional responses or mood swings, making it harder to stay calm or focused. So try using this energy on Wednesday for some physical activities, channeling it with some physical activities like exercising or just moving your body to release that excess energy and reduce some tension. But be mindful with your words and actions, especially in heated situations you might find yourself in. Take a moment to think before responding on Wednesday. Later in the morning, the moon will form a trine to Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, which can feel like a powerful transformative energy. This aspect influences you to make significant changes or gain profound insights, especially in areas related to work, health, and long term goals. This is a good time for deep emotional work or tackling complex issues. You may experience a deep emotional connection or understanding that leads to personal growth or healing. This transit can empower you to take control of your life, particularly around areas where you've been feeling powerless or stuck. You're likely to gain some insight that can lead to positive, lasting changes, especially in how you approach your work or health. However, this intensity of this transit might feel overwhelming to some, leading to power struggles or an obsessive focus on certain issues. There's a risk of becoming overly controlling or manipulative in an attempt to maintain power or achieve your goals. The deep emotional work is encouraged by this transit, and it might bring up some challenging feelings that are difficult to process. So try engaging in activities that promote deep emotional healing, such as therapy, journaling, or meditation. Focus on releasing old habits, beliefs, or situations that no longer serve you. Later in the morning, the moon will move into Libra, shifting our inner emotional worlds towards seeking balance, harmony, and relationships. When the moon is in Libra for the next 2 days, try to avoid some people pleasing tendencies, indecisiveness, and superficiality. Decorating your home or workspace would be beneficial during the moon's transit in Libra. In the afternoon, Mars will enter Cancer, shifting our actions towards home, family, and emotional security. Mars represents our drive and assertiveness, which becomes more emotionally driven in Cancer, leading to actions motivated by feelings. So while Mars is in Cancer, you might react on your feelings more than your logic. And you might feel the need to protect or nurture. This transit encourages you to focus on personal life, particularly around home and family matters, and take actions that support your emotional well being. You're likely to feel more motivated to take actions in areas that are emotionally important to you, such as home improvement projects or family matters. This transit encourages actions that nurture and protect, whether it's taking care of loved ones or creating a safe, comfortable environment. Mars in Cancer is great for home improvement projects, like I said, or making changes that enhance your living space. Now, Mars is in its fall in Cancer, which can sometimes manifest as passive aggressive behavior, especially if emotions are suppressed rather than expressed directly. There's a risk of becoming overly protective or defensive, especially in situations involving your family or your emotional security. Emotions might drive your actions at this time, leading to impulsivity or being reactive, which could create some conflicts or misunderstandings. So during Mars transit in Cancer, focus on home related projects such as redecorating, organizing, or making your living space more comfortable. Spend some time with your family or loved ones, nurturing important relationships. Engage in some self-care practices as well that support your emotional well-being. So don't try to do something like, go drinking, go smoking, and, try to escape your emotions. Do things that support you emotionally and that are healthy for you, such as cooking, journaling, or spending some time in some comforting environments. The last aspect on Wednesday is Venus forming a conjunction with the South Node and opposite the North Node, the South Node being in Libra and the North Node being in Aries. So these aspects bring focus to our relationships, values, and past patterns. Venus conjunct the South Node in Libra highlights karmic relationships and past behaviors, particularly around partnerships that may need to be reassessed or released. This opposition to the North Node in Aries emphasizes the need to move forward towards independence, self discovery, and new ways of relating. This is a good time for reevaluating relationships and values, letting go of what no longer serves, and embracing new, more authentic paths. This transit encourages a deep review of your relationships and values, helping you to release past patterns that no longer are beneficial for you. You may find opportunities to release or resolve karmic ties, leading to personal growth and new beginnings. The Aries Libra axis emphasizes the need to balance between self and others, helping you create a healthier, more balanced relationships going forward. Now, on the flip side, there might be a tendency to cling to the past, resisting change. Take some time to reflect on your relationships Wednesday afternoon if you have the time, and consider what needs to be released and where you can create healthier relationships. So, overall, on Wednesday, you want to pay attention to your past patterns, unhealthy patterns, toxic patterns, and make sure you're not reacting to the situations around you based off of your emotions only. Try to meditate and pray, get grounded in how you are feeling, and not react solely based off of those feelings on Wednesday. Wednesday looks a bit challenging, uncomfortable with the Pluto aspect especially. So be mindful about Wednesday and try not to, like I said, I can't stress this enough. Try not to emotionally react on Wednesday. Now, let's get into Thursday, September the 5th, 2024. And there's not much happening on Thursday, and most of the aspects are happening in the wee hours of the morning when most of us are asleep. And the first aspect is the moon forming a conjunction with the South Node in Libra and opposing the North Node in Aries. And this conjunction of the moon with the South Node in Libra brings a focus on emotional patterns, particularly those related to relationships, harmony, and social interactions. The South Node represents what is familiar and comfortable to us. It's often tied to past lives or earlier experiences that we had. When the moon, which governs our emotions and instincts, align with the South Node, there's a strong pull to revisit old emotional patterns, relationships, or situations. However, this conjunction also challenges you to consider how these past patterns may be holding you back from growth. The opposition to the North Node in Aries emphasizes the need to move forward by embracing more independence, courage, and self assertion. The North Node represents karmic paths forward, pushing you to develop qualities that might feel less familiar to you, but necessary for your growth overall. This aspect offers the opportunity for you to release old emotional baggage, especially those related to codependency or you over-compromising in relationships. You might find closure in past relationships or emotional situations that have lingered, allowing you to move forward with greater clarity. The Libra energy encourages you to reflect on how you balance your needs with others in relationships and whether adjustments are needed to support your personal growth. Now, on the downside to this transit, try avoiding clinging to the past and holding on to outdated emotional patterns out of fear of change or the comfort of the familiar. You might resist the call of the North Node in Aries to step out of your comfort zone, leading you to be stagnant or miss opportunities for personal development. The focus on Libra's energy could lead to over-compromising and sacrificing your needs to maintain harmony and people please rather than addressing underlying issues. So take some time to reflect on past relationships and emotional patterns. Consider what needs to be released to move forward in healthier, more independent direction. Write about how you balance your needs with others and relationships, and ask yourself, are there areas where you've compromised too much? And how can you assert yourself more? The final aspect on Thursday is the moon forming a conjunction with Venus in Libra, which can bring powerful focus to our relationships, beauty, harmony, and emotional well being. Libra's energy is all about balance, fairness, and connection. And when the moon, our emotions, meets Venus, which represents love, beauty, and values, it enhances the desire for peace, love, and aesthetic pleasure. This transit encourages you to seek out harmonious interactions, deepen emotional connections, and appreciate beauty in your life. You're likely to feel more emotionally balanced with a strong desire for peace and harmony in your relationships and everything around you. This is an excellent time to connect with loved ones, nurture romantic relationships, or engage in social activities that bring joy and pleasure. You might find yourself drawn to art, music, or any form of beauty, and this transit enhances your ability to appreciate it and create it. However, there might be a desire for pleasure and comfort that leads to you overindulging, whether that's in food, spending, or other forms of gratification. There's a risk of focusing too much on appearances or surface level harmony, avoiding deeper emotional issues that may need attention. In the pursuit of peace, you might be tempted to avoid necessary confrontations or difficult conversations, which could lead to unresolved tensions. So, spend some time with loved ones, engage in some heartfelt conversations, or plan a romantic date to deepen emotional bonds. Indulge in some self care activities that make you feel pampered and cherished, such as a spa day, meditation, or a beauty ritual. So on Thursday, it looks a bit uncomfortable starting out. You might have had a very uncomfortable interaction this week. And Thursday, you might feel more balanced. You might feel more calm, especially if the beginning of this week was a bit challenging for you and you were a bit chaotic or confused or scattered. On Thursday, you might feel more grounded in, really getting to the bottom of how you feel emotionally. And you might feel, you want to go out and shop or shop for your home since the Mars is in Cancer, or beautify yourself. Maybe you're going to the salon, maybe you're going to the nail salon, going to get your hair done, but Thursday is a great time to do all of that. Now let's get to Friday, September the 6th, 2024. Overnight on Friday, the moon in Libra will form a trine to Jupiter in Gemini. This trine brings an expansive, optimistic, and socially engaging energy. Both Libra and Gemini are air signs, emphasizing communication, intellectual connections, and social harmony. This transit encourages you to embrace positivity, connect with others, and explore new ideas and perspectives. You'll likely wake up on Friday feeling more optimistic and enthusiastic, which can positively influence your mood and interactions with others. This is an excellent time for socializing, networking, or engaging in intellectual discussions that broaden your horizons. You may have opportunities for personal or intellectual growth, especially through learning, teaching, or travel. So Friday, y'all might be traveling. Y'all might be going out. You might be, socializing, wanting to go hang out with your friends or your husband, your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever. Friday is a good time to travel and to just get out. Now, the negative expression of the moon forming a trine to Jupiter is overestimating your abilities or making overly optimistic promises. You might feel tempted to skim through some surface level issues rather than engaging in deeply focusing on the pleasant aspects of a situation without addressing any underlying complexities. While most of us are headed to work or school, the moon will form an opposition with Chiron in Aries, which can influence some tense energy between your desire for harmony in relationships, the moon in Libra, and the need for healing and self assertion. That's Chiron in Aries. So this transit may bring up unresolved wounds related to relationships, independence, or identity. It's a time to balance your emotional needs with the need to address personal healing. This aspect can facilitate some healing conversations that address past wounds or misunderstandings. Especially in relationships, you may gain greater awareness of your emotional needs and how they interact with your sense of independence and self-worth. The opposition can inspire compassion towards yourself and others, fostering a more understanding and supportive environment. Now, on the downside, to the moon opposing Chiron, you might feel emotionally vulnerable if old wounds are triggered by interactions with others. There's a risk of conflict arising from tension between your desire for harmony and the need to assert your individuality. You might also be tempted to avoid dealing with painful issues, leading to further emotional suppression. So take some time to reflect on your emotional wounds, triggers, and patterns that may be affecting your relationships on Friday. Try journaling or meditating. That could really help you get to the bottom of it. Now, Friday evening, the moon in Libra will form a sextile to Mercury in Leo, enhancing communication, creativity, and emotional expression. This transit encourages you to feel your feelings with more confidence and flair, making it an ideal time for creative projects, social interactions, and persuasive communication. You are likely to communicate more clearly and persuasively, making it easier to express your thoughts and emotions. This transit supports creativity, especially around things that involve writing, speaking, and performing. You might find it easier to connect emotionally with others, fostering a deeper and more meaningful interaction. However, there might be a slight risk of being overly dramatic or theatrical in a way you express yourself, which can be perceived as being inauthentic or exaggerated. You might also focus more on being performative with others rather than addressing deeper issues. So try to have meaningful conversations and social interactions with this transit. I personally have Mercury in Leo, and a lot of people think that I lie a lot because I'm so, like, sometimes I can get overly dramatic when I'm expressing myself. So that's something you want to watch out for on Friday. Later in the evening, Mercury in Leo will form a square to Uranus retrograding in Taurus. This is the third pass due to Mercury being retrograde much of the summer. So this square might be less intense, but it's revisiting something that caused a sudden shock to you this summer. This transit can lead to sudden changes in plans, unexpected news, or breakthroughs in thinking. So, if you felt stagnant towards your finances or creativity, this aspect on Friday might bring a breakthrough that you need. This is an excellent time to break free from restrictive thought patterns or routines that no longer serve you. So, anytime Uranus is involved, think of it as a new way to create new neural pathways, new ways of thinking. If you are overly critical or you are negative in your thought processes, Friday evening will be a great time to get a hold on your mind and to start thinking more positively. However, there is a risk of disruptive communication, which could lead to misunderstandings or conflicts. So try to avoid those. Be open to change and be willing to adapt your plans or ideas if new information or realizations come your way. Channel this energy into projects that require out of the box thinking or a fresh perspective. Right before the moon leaves Libra, it will form a square to Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, bringing deep emotional energy. This transit can surface. This transit can bring up some surface level power struggles, emotional intensity, or hidden fears, especially in relationships or areas where control and authority are involved. It's a time for transformation, but it may require confronting uncomfortable truths. You may feel more empowered to take control of your emotional life or to address underlying issues that have been holding you back. The square can bring powerful psychological insights that lead to greater self awareness and growth. Now, on the downside of this transit, there is a risk of power struggles or conflicts, especially in relationships where control or manipulation is at play. Please be careful on Friday. As Pluto is at the final degree of Capricorn, it can manifest as frustrations rooted in deep hidden fears that will now come up to the surface and influenced by Libra's energy. So focus on some shadow work, doing some shadow work on Friday or deep emotional healing practices to address and release any repressed emotions or fears you might have. Be mindful of your boundaries and the boundaries of others, especially emotionally charged situations on Friday. The moon will enter Scorpio where it's in its fall, shifting our emotional world towards deep emotional intensity, introspection, and transformation. Scorpio is a sign of depth, mystery, and regeneration. And the moon's transit through Scorpio encourages you to explore your inner world, confront your fears, and embrace change. Now, I personally have the moon in Scorpio, and it's a very intense energy. Most people find themselves telling me that I give off dark energy. It might be my moon in Scorpio, to be honest, but it's because it's a very intense energy, and Scorpio likes to get to the bottom of things. So much of this weekend will be you getting to the bottom of your emotions. We are in eclipse season, and like I said earlier in this episode, if you found yourself in August or much of the summer struggling to like reflect or to change some bad habits, this weekend will be a great, I cannot stress this enough, a great time for you to get a hold of those bad habits and start practicing some new habits, some new healthier habits. This is how you manifest. This is how you attract the things that you want. This is how you call those things into your life when you get out of those old perpetual cycles that you continuously find yourself in. I use the example of like if you're trying to find a relationship, but you find yourself always getting into a relationship and they remind you of your ex. You are staying in a pattern. That is a pattern that you are repeating. It's something that you are attracting about that person, that energy that you need to change within yourself. So pay attention to what you are doing in relationships. Pay attention to how you are participating in whatever situations that you find yourself in and you feel these power struggles or this negative intense energy. This is the time, or this is the week where you can really start to create the new ways of thinking, create those new habits, and really get a hold of your life. Now let's get into Saturday, September 7th, 2024. There's not much going on Saturday. Overnight, the moon will be in Scorpio and it'll form a trine to Mars in Cancer. So this is a powerful flow of energy between emotions and assertive energy. Both Scorpio and Cancer are water signs, and they are deeply connected to emotions, intuition, and the subconscious. Both Scorpio and Cancer are psychic energies. The moon in Scorpio intensifies emotions and encourages deep introspection, while Mars in Cancer channels the emotional energy into a protective and nurturing action. The transit supports emotional courage, the ability to assert yourself based on your deep feelings, and focus on protecting loved ones and personal boundaries. You are more likely to feel emotionally strong and capable in the positive expression of this, with the ability to take decisive action based on your feelings and instincts. The transit encourages your protective instincts, making you more attuned to the needs of loved ones and motivated to take care of them. However, there is a potential to dwell on past hurts or hold grudges. And I'm telling you, y'all, I can hold a grudge. I'm telling you, with this Scorpio moon in my chart, I can hold a grudge. And this can affect your emotional well-being. So take it from me. Focus on your actions that protect you and nurture you and the people that you care about. This could involve setting some boundaries, taking care of your home, or spending quality time with loved ones. So try to do some activities that allow you to express your deep emotions in a more constructive way, such as journaling, talking with a trusted friend, or getting into some creative arts. Use this energy for physical activities that align with your emotions, like swimming, because Scorpio and Cancer are both water signs. So you can go swimming, or you can do some dancing or yoga to really channel this intense energy productively. Now, on Saturday evening, the Sun in Virgo and Saturn retrograding in Pisces will form an opposition with each other, highlighting a tension between your responsibilities and being realistic and the need for emotional or spiritual fulfillment. The Sun in Virgo focuses on order, efficiency, and attention to detail, while Saturn in Pisces, which is retrograde right now, reflects on a need to re examine your structures that are based on your intuition, dreams, or spirituality. This aspect may bring feelings of restrictions or challenges in areas where you're trying to manifest your practical goals, urging you to find a balance between the material and the spiritual. This transit can also help you establish greater discipline and responsibility in your life in areas where you've been neglecting important details, or practical matters. Saturn's influences encourages realistic reflection on your goals, helping you see where adjustments are needed to achieve your long-term success. The opposition offers a chance to ground your spiritual or emotional insights into more realistic actions, integrating both aspects into your daily life. So, this energy, if you've been feeling a little bit delusional, or if you've been delusional about your situation, Saturday, you might have a bit of a reality check, but you want to watch out for being overly critical about yourself, and focusing on perceived failures or shortcomings rather than your progress. You might feel restricted or burdened by responsibilities if you're struggling to balance practical demands with your emotional or spiritual needs. This aspect can bring a sense of heaviness or pessimism if you're facing challenges that seem difficult to overcome. Use this energy to review and adjust your plans or routines. Focus on how you can incorporate both realistic efficiency and emotional or spiritual well being into your daily life. Take time to address any challenges or responsibilities that have been weighing on you. Break them down into more manageable tasks and approach them with a realistic mindset. So again, if you find yourself having a reality check on Saturday, try not to be down about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. This is the time where you can refine your goals and be more realistic about them. This is a great opportunity. Look at it, if you are finding yourself coming out of some sort of delusional situation or having a reality check on Saturday, try to stay grounded. Try to remind yourself that this too shall pass, and not get overly critical on yourself. We are all human. This is your first time living. We all make mistakes. So just readjust and look over what you need to do to align with your goals. Now let's get into the last day of this week, which is Sunday, September the 8th, 2024. Sunday morning, the moon in Scorpio will form a trine to Saturn retrograding in Pisces, offering some supportive and stabilizing energy. So, this aspect connects the deep emotional intensity of Scorpio with the reflective, disciplined energy of Saturn retrograding in Pisces. It's a good morning for emotional grounding, introspection, and committing to long term goals or spiritual goals. The retrograde motion of Saturn adds an element of reflection and reassessment regarding your emotional boundaries, responsibilities, and how you structure your inner world. This transit provides a sense of emotional stability and maturity, helping you navigate deep feelings with a calm, grounded approach. You might find yourself feeling a bit more easygoing, and you can integrate what you know intuitively, what you found out. Maybe you had a reality check on Saturday, and you can now integrate the revelations that you received on Saturday into a more realistic plan on Sunday, or decisions regarding situations related to long-term goals or responsibilities, so you can be more realistic and grounded in your goals on Sunday. There is a risk of becoming too rigid in your emotional responses or clinging to control rather than allowing yourself to be vulnerable. You might resist necessary emotional changes due to fear of uncertainty, or you might have issues, or you might feel triggered when you are revisiting your past issues on Sunday. So use this energy to commit to an emotional or spiritual practice that supports your long term goals, such as setting intentions, creating a vision board, or establishing a new routine. Reflect on your emotional boundaries and consider where you might need to reinforce them to protect your well being. Now, the last transit for the week is the moon in Scorpio, forming a sextile to the sun in Virgo, which can bring emotional depth and practical clarity. As you can see on Sunday, the sun and Saturn both had a conversation, but now on Sunday, the moon and Saturn and the moon and the sun are now having a conversation. So Saturday, a reality check. Sunday, we're getting more grounded in that reality check and becoming more realistic. So when the moon in Scorpio talks to the sun in Virgo, it can encourage you to align your emotions with your daily routines and goals. It's a supportive energy for taking action on matters that require both emotional insight and realistic application. You are likely to feel more productive and focused on Sunday with a clear sense of how to move forward in important tasks or projects that you might be facing. There is a risk of overanalyzing. We were talking about Virgo. Virgos are overly critical and can overanalyze. So try not to overanalyze your emotions or get caught up in the details, which could lead to you having some unnecessary stress or worry. Use Sunday to align your emotions with your actions, ensuring that your daily routines or projects reflect your deeper values and desires. Engage in some activities that promote emotional and physical wellness, such as cooking a healthy meal, exercising, or organizing your space. This is a good time to plan out your day or week, especially focusing on tasks that require both emotional insight and practical organization. That closes out this week. Thank you so much for joining me on this week's transit talk. I hope that these insights are helpful, and I hope that it helps you make the most of the week. Remember that you can submit your astrology questions. If you have any personal questions that you want me to answer, I will leave the link for the form for you to fill out the question in the description of this podcast episode. You can also sign up for my newsletter, and you can also book a reading for a more personalized guidance. So the link for the question form again and all of my services that I provide is in the description of this podcast. That is it for this week. So I hope you guys stay grounded, stay focused, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.